Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
What was that?
Me, you guys. I get a moist mouth.
All night long, all I dream about is like the mountains in my hair. So I'm ready to do some business.
I'm ready for episode 339 of the Real Life Podcast. Tyler Remchuk, Jay, Bagged Milk, Wanye. It's Christmas week, so we're being super safe and we're doing it remotely, which means Wanye is wearing a robe.
Yeah. And otherwise, I would like to update you on the mouse situation in 2021. That alternate intro just reminded me of my life. I forgot to tell you guys that about 6 weeks ago, I went down in the furnace room at Wanye Manor, and what was in my remnant trap network from last summer? A mouse.
They're
like
back.
a dusty boy? Or
No,
like a
brand Nubian. Fresh, like less than a week. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening again. I'm going to spend another winter locked down in Mouse House. So I thought, what can I do? I got to get technology on my side. Every single outlet on the main floor and basement of Wanye Manor has a blue glowing puck plugged in that is anti-mouse technology. I have enough anti-mouse outlets in this house to repel most of the river valley from mice, I'm sure. And there have been no further incidents.
You might get no work for that.
What does this technology do? Is it just like beaming out a high frequency type noise or?
Yeah. Apparently, according to the good folks at Canadian Tire, it was like, you put these in there, it makes a noise they hate.
Man.
And I was like, well,
Science.
This time last year, it was a free for all.
Do you ever wonder, even though we can't hear it, what it can do to you?
Yes, I do. This was going to be my question. Is I'm surrounded by these blue glowing orbs. That can't be good for me.
I don't know. I often wonder that.
Here's my other one that's in my head right now. I got earpods or iPod. What are they called?
AirPods.
Yeah. AirPods. They make pressure in my skull.
Is that why you're not wearing them right now?
Yeah, man, because I put them in and then it's like I'm high up in a plane. And when I pull one out, it's like my ears pop. Like it's coming up.
Do you have the noise cancellation ones?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has something to do with it. It might
But that can't be good for my brain to have two little pressure causing orbs in my skull.
That's a good point.
Damn, man. Luckily the mouse traps are canceling it out.
Well, can't rule that out.
You know what a Faraday cage is, Jay?
A which?
A Faraday cage.
A Faraday cage.
So a lot of these tech wizards, they build Faraday cages in their rooms. They put wire mesh in the drywall of their bedrooms, and it kills all the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cell signals. It kills everything. So if you enter a Faraday cage with a mobile device, it immediately dies, but they sleep in a Wi-Fi free zone.
That's interesting.
Maybe that's the play.
So they don't sit on their phone in bed?
Nope.
It's confusing.
It's their fortress of solitude.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Bagged Milk. I have a beef with you right now, but I'm going to get to it after I give some love to our friends at the HGA Group, Next Generation of Business Services, built to serve you better. They're our title sponsor. We've been spending all this time setting up your audio board and your mixer. Why aren't you using it for the pod?
Because I can't get it to speak to my computer.
Oh,
that's what I told you. That's what I told you on Friday.
I thought we had at least gotten it. Well, I also gave you one of the cables that you can go to USB with that mic, right?
Oh, you're just talking about just the microphone.
Yeah, I could have used just the mic.
I could have. Yeah, I suppose I didn't even think about that.
Well,
hey, better late than never, man.
Exactly.
And if you don't get that joke, that is the name of Bagged Milk's new podcast that is launching in January, correct?
Shout out to Arcadia Brewing for coming aboard as the first sponsor. I haven't even recorded an episode. They put pressure on me.
Damn.
Have you enjoyed a delicious Coliseum ale though?
Not yet, but I was talking to Jared in sales and I got to go down there and grab some stuff from them. And I will be grabbing one because one of the segments I'll be doing on Better Late Than Never is going to be stories from the rink, where I'm going to encourage people to just hit me up on the voicemail or send me an email or whatever about your favorite moments from Rexall Place, Rogers Place, any other arena you've got. And that'll be the Coliseum Ale will be kind of the sponsor of that segment. So I'm looking forward to it. All fits together, Tyler.
That's a good tie-in right there. So what's everyone doing with no Oilers hockey for the next forever?
Well, Wanye gave me some homework tonight. I'm not going to get into it, but I've got some documentaries to watch, Tyler.
Yeah, you're
I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Me and Bag Milk are onto the, I don't know if you ever heard of the fucking truth about life, but Bag Milk and I are well aware of it. You may disguise it as a conspiracy theory with which you're not familiar, but we know how the world actually is working.
That's odd.
What do you mean?
I just wasn't expecting that sentence this early in the podcast.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theories at all here, Chuck? Or is the world exactly as Fox News tells you?
I saw a TikTok the other day that was like this guy, and he was basically just going on about how he doesn't believe the moon landing simply because he barely gets cell reception in his basement. And he was like, you're telling me they streamed this shit from the moon like 50 years ago? There's no way. If I can't send a text from my downstairs living room, how did they do that? And I'm kind of on board with that.
Like, it's a worthy question.
How? Like,
it is
how?
highly unlikely that they would risk shooting a rocket with four little men strapped to it in front of a worldwide live TV audience with less technology in the spaceship than you have in your car key fob. For real, there's more computing power in a car key fob that can open your doors remotely than there was in the Apollo rockets.
That's fascinating. And like you said, maybe it was tape delayed. Maybe that's how they did it. Maybe these guys were already back on Earth. They just shot it up there and brought it home.
I think they went into orbit.
But you don't think they went to the moon?
Like, as long as you see a rocket streak up into the sky as a human in 1969, you've seen all you need to see to believe what's going on.
Fair enough. Maybe there was no one even on that rocket. Swept out a little trap door.
Little trap door. They just fell into the bottom of the truck that drove them to the bottom of the stairs.
Yep.
And they all laid in the bottom of the truck.
I actually don't know if I believe that conspiracy theory. That one just popped up on my TikTok recently. So when you asked me, that's what I felt like saying.
If you watch the press conference of the astronauts when they come home, they do not look like people who just returned from exactly where they said they were. They're ultra nervous. They're uber evasive. It's very strange.
Well, maybe that's because they were worried about the fact that it was tape delayed coming out. Maybe that's all the conspiracy is.
At a minimum, probably, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a weird spot to transition from off of the Oilers schedule, but the Oilers.
Well, at least oh no, go ahead. I was going to transition, but take it on. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think the Oilers are playing again in this calendar year. I think
let's talk about the moon, bro.
Yeah, it's way more fun to talk about the moon than the upsetting lack of Oilers games.
That's fair enough.
I'm going to be so upset that he's not here for this episode because I actually started watching Succession. And he's begging to find a dance partner to watch it. So I've been laying low this weekend just because it's crazy out there. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to start watching Succession. And now I can talk to Chalmers about it. And now he's not here.
I don't know if you guys know, but I got my schedule opened up a little bit this week. So I'm also looking for a new show. So maybe I'll watch Succession.
The lesson of Succession is Kieran Culkin's agent deserves an Oscar. That's the lesson of Succession. Where the fuck did this guy come from to suddenly be on Succession?
He's not. I'm only 3 episodes in, and I enjoy his character so far. He's a bit of a piece of shit, but I enjoy kind of what he brings.
This is why acting is such a weird industry compared to like sports. You can literally go dormant for like 15 years. You're Kieran Culkin. You've been going to tryouts and readings since the movie The Good Son, I think, with his brother.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're in Succession. Keep going to those tryouts, kids.
Patience, man.
He's on the cover. Do you see him on SNL? Do you see him on there?
Yeah.
When he showed the video of himself when he was on Macaulay's episode.
Yeah.
It took him 26 years to get back on stage or whatever. Keep going to those tryouts, kids.
Yeah.
I started watching this show last night called Alone. I fucking love survival shows. Has anybody ever seen that?
No.
People go out into the bush. They get 10 personal items and they go out into the bush for 90 days with nothing other than these 10 items. And there's 10 people and they're trying to buy for a prize of $500,000, but only if you make it the full 90 days.
Now, if I have 10 items and there's 4 One Direction albums that I'm bringing, does that count as 4 items of 10 or 1?
Unfortunately,
you just got to get the one box set. Then it's 1 item.
No, the box set
and one's a CD and one's vinyl.
Plus, you're going to need a player,
a CD player and a record player.
Actually,
All 10 items of me are
for both
Harry
items,
Styles
like,
album in a different type of music, record, cassette.
You're going to
CD.
need something to charge it because you got 3 months to get through, right?
Yeah.
So we need some kind of
generator.
solar charger.
10 things. 10 things just around One Direction.
So
The One Direction experience.
Take me through some of the items. Like, what's the weirdest item that we're kind of getting here?
None of it's weird. It's all practical stuff, like a knife, an axe, like a what are those things called for fire? Like a flint rod or
Can
whatever.
someone bring a gun?
No, not allowed to bring a gun. They are allowed to bring bows and arrows, though. So that would count as a.
So now, is it bow and arrow?
Yes, bow and arrow. That distinction has been made in the first episode. That counts as one item.
How many arrows? One?
You're allowed 4 arrows.
4 arrows.
Interesting.
Can you fish?
Otherwise, you can fish, but you gotta. So all these people, it's amazing how they like. One guy found a spoon somewhere out in the bush. He didn't bring it, but he manufactured it into a spool and a hook, and he ended up catching fish with it. Somebody found some string kind of like washed up on the shore, made a drop net from it for fishing. So
whoa, this is cool. What channel is this on?
It's on History, but I just did it on demand. So the whole season is called Alone, like the Bear or something. There's 10 episodes and I'm super into it. I love
because they move from different places in the world, right? To like try and do it. Like that's how.
So this one's in
like Survivor Man.
This one's in exactly. It's exactly like Survivor Man. So these people are also all filming themselves. This season I'm watching is in northern BC. And it's just getting into fall. So they're also going to get a seasonal change. So I love this kind of shit. I love that kind of shit.
That's what I thought Survivor was going to be when I first saw the ads for it. I thought it was actually going to be like an abandoned island. People wash up and they Robinson Crusoe this shit. I didn't realize it was so much about the games.
And initially had that feeling kind of, right? And people are just dropping weight like crazy. But like once you found out about like the production around it and the fact that like it's not as like remote or destitute. Yeah. That's why I think I only made it 2 or 3 seasons. Oh no, I made it to Africa, and then literally everyone was just so dehydrated and so hot. You're literally watching people die on television.
I tried to watch the last season of Survivor, and I'm not into it. This though alone, this is the shit because these people are out there. They're out there. This one lady, she had a bear coming up to her thing last night, so she had to launch the bear banger to get it running away. It was amazing.
Was that one of her 10 personal items? A bear banger?
Yep, she brought a bear banger as one of her personal items.
Smart.
I'm not even going to tell the joke that I would tell to make Jay mad. Out of respect to the cancellation of NHL season.
Yes, bear banger makes loud noise.
Now, is this a shoot off of Alone and Naked? Because I did watch an episode of that.
Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid.
That was a mind blowing show that they would make that.
No, this is not like that at all. This is like people out there doing a contest for money. People leave for whatever reasons, kind of like Naked and Afraid, but they're out there by themselves. There is no camera crew with them. There's nothing.
Damn.
It's awesome.
Les Stroud was so good on Survivor, man. What did he get into? UFOs or something? Bigfoot. That's right.
He really got into Bigfoot.
But in like a weird way where he was like angry about Bigfoot or some shit and like turned everybody off.
He did a special, like a Survivor Man finds Bigfoot special, and it just got, I don't know where it went from there. That was my last interaction with Les Stroud, but it got weird. Like, I don't know.
He quoted people that people in the Bigfoot community themselves thought were terrible people to talk to. And he like pissed off the Bigfoot believer community. I don't understand why like society at large dropped him, except he must have gone bananas or something.
Now, a guy who has spent a lot of time surviving in the wilderness to then go all in on Bigfoot, that's a signal of some variety.
That it may be real.
Could be.
If who was going to get wind of Bigfoot, if not Les Stroud?
It lived in the wilderness.
My problem is I've watched so much Survivor Man and Les Stroud and what's the English dude that drinks his own pee?
Bear Grylls.
I almost feel, Harry Styles too. I almost feel overconfident that I could do at least a weekend out there, even though I know it's a horrible idea. But I feel in my heart that I could.
90 days. 90 days.
So long.
Actually, they're looking for 100 days, but they keep saying 90 days, so it's in my head. Yeah, so 100 days for $500,000.
Wow,
$5,000 a day.
When you said the show Survivor Man, it wasn't the show I was thinking of. But what was that show that used to be on? Might have been on like OLN, where the guy would compete against a contestant and they'd have to like avoid him. And Man Tracker.
Oh, Man Tracker.
And Shane Doan was on it.
Yeah,
Love Man Tracker.
Man Tracker was the guy on the horse. It was the best.
Yeah.
He'd get you. He'd run you down in the end. You think you could run away from a man on a horse? Fat fucking chance you will.
I got down a TikTok wormhole of shows like that the other day. So it was like Man Tracker and then like a bunch of Dog the Bounty Hunter clips.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
when Dog the Bounty Hunter didn't catch that kid and then had to go home without having caught that kid. I think that's the end.
Oh yeah. He was so confident too that he was going to find him. Yeah.
He had the plane with the banner that says like, "We're about to find you, Chad," or whatever. He never found nobody.
Yeah.
He just went home. Inglorious. You never catch your last case, do you? If you're done,
yeah, that's the cold case that'll haunt him forever.
If you're a bounty hunter, you either end your career with a weapon of the day embedded in you, or you don't catch the last case.
Yeah.
Poor old dog.
Fair enough.
He had his day.
All right. Before
that was a good show.
It was a good show. Better to have a day than no day.
Chuck? Shit. What do you want to talk about?
Actually, I like the moments on Dog the Bounty Hunter that were the funniest were like when they'd finally catch him and he'd have his like real moment with them. Be like, listen, man, you're going to turn your life around. You want a cigarette?
Yeah. You want to smoke? Give them all a smoke.
The guy's like handcuffed in his Chevy, whatever. Fucking his wife's lighting up the dart.
The show was about learning, but wasn't Dog canceled?
Was he?
Did he cancel? Was he?
I mean, let's just say I would not be the least bit stunned.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Here, I'll find this out real fast.
While he's looking your M-Check, I'll just tell you a special Dog the Bounty Hunter story.
Okay.
We did a startup back in the day and we wrote ticketing software and we did the ticketing for River Cree, like that big tent.
Yep.
And we could see how many people bought tickets to shit through the system.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would see through the system, for some reason or other, we knew like, this is how many people came. We could track like who paid and all this kind of shit. Dog the Bounty Hunter came one year. And like, how would Dog the Bounty Hunter solve any crimes in the tent at River Cree, you may ask yourself. He was just doing a Q&A. And we would like look at these events as we loaded them on and be like trying to guess how many people were going to pay and go and shit like that. Dog the Bounty Hunter got so much money and Dog the Bounty Hunter was like full.
Really?
Q&A. Yes, man. To do a Q&A, like 90s bands, 80s bands that went through River Cree. I'd be like, oh, these guys are going to draw well. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Dog the Bounty Hunter, but bloody soul, didn't sell a place out, but he was like 75% full of people who paid.
If you would have made me guess.
So the official statement on Dog the Bounty Hunter was the show got canceled. I don't know about the person for creative differences amongst the dog family.
He wanted real guns and they said, no, you do the paintball gun shtick and you're happy with it. And that was where the show.
Is that what he totes around his paintball guns?
I think that's
I've
what
never
it was.
watched it.
Or like pellet guns or some shit. Like he wasn't allowed to have a real gun, I don't think. And like,
I thought he could because he was a bail bondsman. I thought there were everybody going to be armed in the States.
That's what's weird.
When do you ever hear the state say that he wasn't allowed to be armed?
I don't think he had a real gun.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah, I think that was part of the thing.
If I saw three black Suburbans with a bunch of guys with lit darts hop out and giant black painted paintball guns, my first question wouldn't be, are those paintball guns? My first question would be, it's time to escape this Hawaii crack shack I'm in and escape.
Yeah.
Damn, are those paintball guns? Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Before we keep going on, I'm going to revert this back to hockey and also an ad read because we need to give some love to our new friends at TradesLink. Connect with trades, find and hire for jobs, digital certification wallet as well. There's a ton of really interesting features here. If you work in the trades, this is a local thing as well. It's basically like LinkedIn, but specialized for trades work. TradesLink, they sponsor the TradesLink Hardest Worker of the Week. We did have some hockey this week, so I'm going to give my hardest worker to a member of the Oilers. Last week, I was hard on Warren Fogle, so I gave him my hardest worker, and we made amends. And then he got on a heater after that. It was a great moment. This week, I'm going to give it to Kyler Yamamoto. And Kyler Yamamoto, he worked his bag off on one of those Oilers goals the other day. He came back hard on a nice back check. He potentially prevented a goal. Play goes back the other way, and the Oilers scored. So Kyler Yamamoto, you've had a rough year, but you get my TradesLink hardest worker to make up for it and have yourself feeling good ahead of the holidays.
It's really nice of you.
Yep. Spreading Christmas cheer.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else have a hardest worker of the week?
trying to think.
I've got one for, I guess, the world right now, just given how COVID's just running rampant through everything. I'm going to just shout out frontline workers and healthcare workers.
Fair enough.
They're busting their tails right now, making sure we are safe.
Bonus. I will also tag on that with Jay. I went and got tested this week for COVID, and they made the process really simple and efficient, and they were patient, and they answered all the questions that I had. So also hardest worker goes up to the frontline workers. I made a.
Hey, it's your Remchuck here in post-production. We had some weird technical difficulties. So the next 30 seconds of the podcast might not make a ton of sense. Cool.
Because he's on the wrong continent.
So he's not
Bigfoot has
enough.
the clout. Yeah. What if Bigfoot has the clout to internally shut down investigations? Good. There's something.
Hey man, if there's a 10-foot humanoid type creature out there running around, you don't think he's got some clout? Shut some shit down?
Speaking about Yeti, I watched an amazing documentary called 14 Peaks on Netflix.
I did too. So good.
Oh my God. That guy's, Nimsy, what's his last name? Nimsy Pure. Anyways, the guy climbed 8,000. Nirmal Persia. He's from Nepal.
That wasn't even close. Did he even come back down, or did he just climb and then leave?
No, climb back down.
Climb back down.
Jesus. So he got, and he had a few scares, and one of the scares was just he was kind of left alone from trying to, save someone or something, and they got ahead of him, and he kind of got lost and disoriented. And what happens is you can develop a situation called HACE, high altitude cerebral edema, and essentially you go into a fog. And he thought he saw a Yeti, and so he started hallucinating, but it actually was another lost climber that was also experiencing that HAC thing again. And he was just able to, just through his willpower, take that guy and walk their way, escort him back.
He saved that guy
to base camp and himself, because he was also.
Wow.
But he thought he was capturing a Yeti.
He initially thought he saw a Yeti. Yeah.
Wanye, you'll also like that. I don't remember which mountain he was climbing, but the day before at base camp, they really got after it with a good party before they got up there.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. That I don't know, climbing a mountain hungover would be the thing that I'd put on my list, but they really got after it. For that,
he just flipped that whole. That was like a downtrodden, melancholy crew, because they that whole base camp had a couple failed attempts. I think that was at K2.
Yeah.
And they were all down. He just came in and just brought in energy and got everyone to party and drink and dance. And then a bunch of them they were going to pack up and ended up kind of following up the mountain and ended up getting to achieve their goal of summiting K2.
The weird thing that I learned about that documentary was that the top of Mount Everest is now incredibly crowded as people are trying to get up there for selfies and shit at the peak. And there's places where it's dangerous because they're moving too slow and it's causing bottlenecks. I did not know that was
400 people. There's 400 people lined up to try to get to the top, right at the close to the summit.
So this guy took a photo of that bottleneck towards the summit of Everest and posted it on social media, and it went viral everywhere. Yeah. I did not know that was going on up there. That people are just trying to get up.
I've seen that photo. That was the whole thing before that. I remember seeing that photo, and that's where it came from.
Wild.
Yeah,
that guy can tweet from Mount Everest, and we can't get calls in Riverdale. What the fuck is going on?
Oh yeah, this guy's a special human. I'm gonna be following him from afar because he is a unit.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God, this picture is insane.
Right?
Oh yeah.
How did you find it, your Amtrak? What'd you look up?
I Googled Mount Everest peak lineup photo.
Call Mount.
I'm going to post it on our Instagram, maybe tweet it out too.
100%. It's just
this is the lineup for the fucking bathroom at Rogers.
Oh shit. Yeah.
The picture is
good call, your Amtrak.
But look at where all those people are standing on. I'll make this the header image for the article on weathersnation.com, but it is bananas that they're just waiting to get to the peak and everybody's like, got to take your photo.
Bag milk. This reminded me of when we went to the beaches of Thailand, and you see them in brochures as these empty places with all of this solitude and beauty. And you get there and it's just people bumping Pitbull on little speaker sets.
Yeah.
Selling you tiger beers.
If you go to the beach where they filmed the beach and you're this deserted beach is going to be so beautiful. And then first of all, you see that it's not actually closed in unless you're way off to the left. And there's just people everywhere.
Wasn't that bad. There was a lot of people there. They just shut it down and reopened it.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it reopened now?
Yeah, it just reopened because it was getting all fucked up. It was really sad the last time I was there. It was covered in garbage. The last time I was there, it was a real bummer.
Yeah. It's because so many people go to it. It would be cool to spend a night at that beach. I know you can.
Yep.
You can?
Yep. You can get like little camping trips out there. It'd be cool.
And then you go out swimming in the bay and get bit by a shark.
Yeah,
swim to shore. Then your buddy has to put you in a tent.
Well,
you ruin it for the whole commune.
Yeah, first of all, you fight the shark and then you live to tell the story. Yeah. And then
you needed to have your soccer scores.
Yeah, the friendly Swede also tried to take on a shark and did not do so well. I've seen that movie 9,000 times.
Nothing left to do but bang Tilda Swinton.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a strange lady to have in that role, I always thought, in that movie.
She commands authority.
Yes, she does. Yes,
she's like either a queen or like a lizard queen in movies.
Yeah,
I've never seen her be like
role,
a fun kid. Like she doesn't seem like a kid in that movie in any way.
No, she seems like
Tilda Swinton.
30 years
old. Yeah, but think about how old her character must be in that movie. Like it couldn't be that old. They're a bunch of kids on an island.
Who is this?
Tilda Swinton. She's an actress.
The boss of the beach.
In the movie The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Starring All Saints, which is one of the greatest songs of all time. Your Chuck? Jesus.
Yes.
The best.
Pure Shores? Your Chuck? You don't know what that show is? You better know that song.
The opening. Have you ever seen that movie, Tyler, The Beach?
No, I don't watch.
Have you ever heard the song Pure Shores by All Saints? We write that shit down.
Yep. Both of those.
Tell Mrs. Your Chuck, prepare to get,
If I watch the first 10 minutes of that movie, I need to be on a plane to going to Bangkok because I love that city.
Oh, I like
to listen
to that song when I'm on a boat.
Yep.
And cruising through water.
Yep.
Every single mixtape Jay made from about 1997 to 2010 contained one Pure Shores by All Saints track.
Always.
We've talked about this song before on the podcast.
Well,
it's that good.
You're talking about more.
Because it also features, the soundtrack also features Porcelain by Moby, which is also a slam from that one.
Maybe the podcast should just be about this song, your Chuck.
Every show.
Every show is about Pure Shore by All Saints?
Well, yeah, we should resurrect the careers of All Saints, two of which had Canadian connections. Two of the Saints.
All right.
Makes you wonder where Sugar Jones is in Velvet Empire these days. They could be anywhere.
We're due for another super group search, aren't we?
Yeah.
I hope the pandemic, when it's over, boy bands come back and there's a new one.
We're due.
Well, if BTS can take North America by storm like they did, there's appetite for boy bands and girl bands and people bands.
I just want the search, though. That's what I want specifically. I want the search for the boy band.
So you want to launch a TV show where they search for the next big boy band?
Yes, engineered boy bands.
Yeah, or some kind of X Factor scenario that results in another One Direction.
Yes,
that's what I'm looking for.
One Direction was engineered by the fans and Simon Cowell in the UK.
Yeah, that's all you needed back in the day was Simon Cowell's nod. Next thing you knew, you were number one.
Now Harry Styles is selling out arenas and giant green pants and pearl necklaces and all kinds of weird cardigans and shit. I like it.
And golfing with the Carolina Hurricanes that one time, which was weird.
Which is cool.
It's very cool, but it just kind of popped up and I was like, what?
Which team should he be playing with? Chuck?
Well, it was just odd. How does that even come together? Is he playing a show in Carolina and someone reaches out and is like, hey, you want to go golfing with the Canes? I don't know the backstory to that photo.
It's like, hey, I'm in Carolina for a myriad of reasons. Who in this town is my age and a millionaire?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Sebastian Aho and Martin Necas. All right, sure.
And they're like, we met him backstage at the arena because we were going to do hockey things and he was doing hairy things.
It's like they've got their own Get Trades Link app, but it's for 20-something millionaires. And that's how they
They're like, is anybody on my level in this city?
Mm-hmm. Get Trades Link for millionaires. Yep. Take that, Zayn Malik. You didn't golf with the Hurricanes.
Oh, Zayn's
gone off.
If you ever
the JC Chazé of that.
Well said.
Yeah, he really is.
If you ever want to have a really good in-depth One Direction discussion, you know who you got to hit up? Our resident British boy, Liam Horriban.
Oh, of course.
He know one
imagine that's his national
anthem. Die hard into one.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yeah. Get him going on that.
Okay, but like, is he followed their individual careers, or is he just a One Direction purist?
I think a little bit more of a One Direction purist, but he knows enough about all of them. Like, you definitely need to bring it up with him and just listen to him go off. It's hilarious.
All right. Well, next time I see him, that is on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have an appetite for golf because is it Nail? What's his name?
Horan or whatever?
Niall Horan.
Yeah, he always caddies for Rory.
How was he
really?
Yeah, he does it for the par 3 tournament at the Masters and other things.
Speaking of golf, how cute was the Tiger Woods son thing over the weekend?
That was just great television. I watched like almost every second of it. It was awesome. And
he's freakishly legit.
How old is that kid?
Gun.
Yeah. How old is that kid?
12.
Because he is legit.
So,
and he is a fucking stick.
Who is more of a sure thing, Jay? LeBron James's son or Tiger's kid in their respective sports?
I know nothing about it. Is LeBron
Bronny?
Son?
He's #1 draft pick, they project.
Bronny
James, man. LeBron James Jr.
Oh. I don't know, man. I'd probably go. Oh, geez. I would go Tiger Woods just because.
Okay, but we were talking about this when I was at hockey the other day. One of my buddies told me Charlie Woods, like in his age group in competitive golf in Florida, is ranked like 70th in the state.
Really?
Like he's not even like high or whatever.
Don't fucking worry about it. Would be my reply.
That guy was throwing darts and nailing putts.
It was crazy.
Pumping his fist like dad.
And didn't hit one drive.
They did fairway. They did that little. Did you guys see this little side-by-side mashup video where they showed old Tiger mannerisms? Mannerisms. It was identical. It was so adorable.
Nike's just like jumping for joy and waiting to sign him.
Yeah.
If Tiger, imagine for his age, I don't. Maybe 70th, like in his group, but he's probably 3 ages under it.
Tiger just goes to the Masters for the last time with Charlie qualifying as an amateur, and then he misses the cut and Charlie wins it as an amateur and Tiger caddies for him on the weekend.
Oh, that'd be the best.
The torch has been passed.
They're both wearing the swoosh. Yeah, they're both wearing Sunday red.
And Phil Knight just comes out of the green on 18 because he's so happy because they saved the golf industry.
You guys got me on Shoe Dog. That's my next. I know I got homework from our meeting last week to read, but that's my next book I'm going to read is Shoe Dog.
Oh,
it's good, man. It's a good business book.
Okay. This from an article at the Sporting News. Charlie Woods is currently playing in the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour, which is the largest junior golf tour right now. Woods is ranked 135th in the boys 11 to 13 division.
What do you want to tell you, Chuck?
And meanwhile, NBADraftRoom.com has Bronny James ranked as the 34th pick for the 2024 NBA draft.
Oh, he's fallen off. I was watching the thing about him. They're like, he was a all-star high school player, some shit in grade 10. He can already dunk and shit. They had him projected higher.
I still believe in Charlie. He's younger than everyone still. I believe it.
I think the interesting part about it is that those kids are following in their dad's footsteps. Whereas like, if my dad's Paul McCartney, as an example, I don't know that I want to make music.
Are you Stella McCartney in this story?
I could be. I'm just saying, like, I find it interesting that their kids are following down the same path. Like, if your dad is LeBron James or Tiger Woods, do you really want that added pressure that you have to almost live up to it in a way? I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see how Tiger trains Charlie differently than how Earl trains Tiger.
Yeah.
Because he'd know like the best of the stuff to use and the shit to not do.
Yeah.
And he's also worth $800 million now, which probably helps.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't involve a greenside RV.
Oh, there's probably a greenside G5 jet now that he goes for a 3-hour flight and lands. You can't get the Earl out of Tiger, if you know what I'm saying. Wink.
The real story from that weekend of golf was John Daly and his son, John Daly II.
Come on.
I just sent you a picture in our group chat. They won the tournament, Wanye.
What?
Yes. They dominated.
And there is this unbelievable picture.
Look at those pants he's wearing.
Oh my God. They won?
Yeah. That's what they're doing in the photo. They got their belt.
Highlight of John Daly's life is beating Tiger and Tiger Jr.
It wasn't like, so I don't know a whole lot about golf, but wasn't John Daly one of those guys that's just very, very naturally talented, but he didn't necessarily put in the work to take it to the next level? Isn't that the story?
I'll start sending you the John Daly TikToks I see all the time. It's literally him just getting like drunk and like being great. It's unreal. Cause
like I've seen countless where he's got like darts in his mouth or he's golfing with no shoes on and shit. Like he just seems like he's out having a time, you know, but being the best wasn't necessarily part of the equation. At least it seemed like.
I'm sending you a photo of
John Daly Jr.
It's John Daly. It's at this tournament. And it's a screenshot from the television broadcast where it's John Daly and his kid. The leaderboard is up showing John Daly and his son, Team Daly, leading. And John Sr. smoking a cigarette on the course.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I knew it was going to come with a peak performance meme. I knew it.
But, okay, this also isn't just like his kid's apparently legit. Like I have an article up here from Bleacher Report.
Legit.
Yeah, but there's an article here from Bleacher Report in 2020, August of 2020, so about 14 months ago. And the headline of it was, "Get ready for John Daly II. He's so freaking talented, it's stupid."
Really?
So the normal protocol in these events is they get the kid to putt first so dad can get the line. And John Daly Jr. was anchoring the putting for his dad. So his dad would always putt first and he would putt second.
Wow. How old is he?
Is he in college? Like, was that an Arizona Razorback? Like he kept wearing those. Was it? Yeah.
Okay. Well, think about this. Like
he's
John
18.
Daly 1 and 2. Oh, 18 against 12-year-old Charlie and fucked up Tiger.
Oh,
he barely beat
Charlie's coming, and Tiger played really well too. Like
he looked great for a guy who's injured.
How long ago was his accident? Like it wasn't that long ago, was
6
it?
months.
200. Yeah, no, it's like 260 or 70. They references like high 200s of days ago. His last professional appearance was that exact tournament last year.
What a year.
No kidding.
Can you imagine if like 10 years from now we get a scenario where it's Charlie Woods and John Daly II going head to head in a tournament?
In a playoff. Oh yeah.
And he's smoking darts and Charlie's like doing Navy SEAL training.
They just really embrace everything that their fathers have to offer, you know?
Yeah.
Phil Knight Jr.'s there. No, Tiger looks jacked as hell.
Yeah.
He said all he could do was pull-ups and bench press for a while when he was rehabbing.
It is evident.
Yeah.
He is jacked.
Before we keep cruising along here, some love to DoorDash.
Does he look like Tiger when he plays? Like, or is it like he's having to readjust?
Swing looks the same. Like they kind of got it. Like he's there's so many mannerisms that are the same.
Yeah.
Christmas
fist pump swing. His swing is absolute butter.
You don't want to be putting in too much effort to things you don't have to, which is why our friends at DoorDash are here to help you out. Ding dong.
Yeah, all right.
I just kept powering through.
Get through there. Charlie Woods it.
There is only maybe 11 more days left. Use the promo code OODLE2021, which saves you $7 on an order of $30 or more at Oodle Noodle when you use DoorDash. So what are you waiting for? Use it every day. You can use it 10 times per account. So use it every day from now till the end of the month. Stockpile the Oodle Noodle and begin the new year by eating Oodle Noodle every single day.
Why not?
There you go. You're M-Chuck. Now you're thinking.
Why not? There was an Oilers thing I was going to tie this all back into.
How much they all love butter chicken?
No, there wasn't. My next ad read, I was already thinking of it. It was going to be, there are no Oilers games for a while, but when they are, go to fansfirst.ca, and that's where you'll get your tickets to watch the action in person. Fansfirst.ca. Love them. And now we're done all the ad reads for the show. Could end it all right now. That's a lie. There's one more.
I'm happy Pugliarvi is coming home. Or is home.
Yeah, that would have been.
How did they do that? I thought there were rules.
Yeah, I want to know about that too. So in my head, he's sitting on a plane by himself like an absolute G.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Like confirmed, he just came back on a charter by himself.
It would have been a private jet for sure, and the Oilers had to file paperwork to like make it all legit. But yeah,
maybe we're learning. Maybe we don't fire people by Zoom anymore. Maybe we don't leave Bison King alone in Seattle over Christmas like a terrible movie on the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, because that was a real bummer when they were talking about that at the beginning of the game in Seattle, just like how Jesse had to stay there over Christmas or may have had to. So yeah, Mark Spector reported that last night that he was on a plane home. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
You guys want to know something super weird?
Sure.
The other day, Stauffer went on like a rant on the air about Bison King. And he kept saying how it was super creative, like over and over. And then was like, yeah, like whoever invented Bison King is super creative.
He knew that was us, right? Or you?
Yes, he knows damn well roughly where it came from. Why the hell is he saying that on the air? Like 3 people DM me.
He also gave Zach Lang like an impromptu shout out the other day. I think Stauffer's starting to warm up to us.
14 years in, I doubt it.
No, you never know.
Stuff.
Maybe you're so good, your Remchuck, that he's starting to take us seriously.
Me and him
when we were
wave to each other once in a while.
When we were at the hockey game on Thursday, Uncle Gene was there, and Uncle Gene just walked right by all of us, then recognized Remchuck, stopped to talk to him.
What?
Me and Gene are tight.
What's that hair look like in person?
Oh, I imagine it's majestic. The body and the flow.
Robert Plant-esque. Yeah.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Huh. Yeah. I want to know what it looks like untamed, though. You know.
Oh, because he's got body. That thing could be madness. He could be Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
Or he could be
a little activator in there.
I'd love to know what that thing looks like when he wakes up in the morning and he gets up and he's. I just imagine it is a hefty flow.
I'm telling you though, that panel of Mac T, Stauffer, and Gene is the best panel I think I've ever. Like I love Strutty. Don't get me wrong; he's my number one. But as of the 3 amigos, it is awesome. Mac T doesn't give a shit half the time. He's just saying mean shit. It's so funny.
Well, you kind of
so smart too.
I kind of forgot also how clever Mac T is, just because I haven't seen him speak in a while, and he is so sharp with what he's just so funny.
Yeah. And he's like able to kind of, when you're on the Oilers in management, I'm sure he knows all the problems with the team better than anybody, but he's actually tasked with fixing it. Whereas now he's on the panel, you can tell he just doesn't give a shit anymore. It's so much better.
Yeah, it's way better.
Yep.
I think we'd be remiss to not give the Oilers snaps and accolades and shout outs for that gutsy, hardworking effort of Saturday night.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Great win.
They legitimately, like, if you look at the hits, you look at they just fucking took it to them. Like, we're missing a lot of skill guys and a lot of key players, but like, we just out efforted them and out toughness them, if these are even fucking words and terms. But like, that was so refreshing to see, because that was a game where we were behind the 8 ball right from the get-go, then let 2 goals against us really quickly, so supremely behind the 8 ball, and then literally just took it to those Kraken asshats.
Yeah, because it wasn't Stuart Skinner's best game by any means. So to have them roar back and come back and win, that was great.
Yep.
Yeah. And the physicality, we hit the shit out of them. We wore them down. I loved it.
And the Oilers... Sorry, go ahead.
How is he getting all this out of the bottom 6? The fuck is going on with Gulletson?
No, I think it's just them. I think it's just the Oilers snapping out of a cold streak.
No, they're on fire. Before it was Connor to Leon or nothing. And now all of a sudden, all the bottom 6 are starting to chip in.
Like, the interesting thing about the Gulletson era, quote unquote, is all the fancies have vastly improved. And that's just weird. I know it's probably coincidental, but it's very, very odd.
I think it's coincidental because we saw them starting to play better towards the end of the losing streak. They were just playing really good teams, and then they got a chance to play 2 bad teams, and they took it to them. I think that's all that is.
No props for Gulletson from Tyler.
Well, no, it's not. It's not that I'm not giving props to Gulletson. I actually really like him. I think he probably should be a head coach again in the NHL someday. I just don't like the people that are taking this as like you gotta fire Tippett now. Look it out. Look at what he's getting out of the bottom 6. Look at Bogle scoring, and it's like no,
Bogle is scoring.
Yeah, but it's not because Dave Tippett's in COVID protocol. Like, I just don't like the people who are implying that.
Well, and I
remember a thing that was called the Battle of Alberta. I don't know if you guys remember that. Remember the Battle of Alberta?
It's been a minute.
Why the hell are all of our coaches Flames coaches all of a sudden?
Both of
the hell is going on? What the hell is happening? Why would you put the Flames in charge of the Oilers? What is happening?
I also wanted to give some love to the Oilers Twitter account because they were on fucking fire in that game against Seattle. It was so good. I'm happy to see that they've loosened
They've loosened up on their Twitter account. They've allowed the person that runs it to have some fun with it, whereas that was not the case even last season as much, or the year before, certainly. I'm glad to see that they've loosened up.
They had the moment where they clapped back at the Kraken after the Kraken were like, the goal didn't count. And they were like, oh, really? And then they posted, when Colton Sevier scored, they posted a screenshot of him getting drilled in the numbers and then him chirping the Seattle player and said, revenge is a dish best served cold. They had another one later in the night as well, where they were like, oil rises to the top of water, which was a jab at the Kraken as well. A bunch of just really, really funny stuff from their Twitter. So I wanted to give them some love.
Photo of an octopus just drowning in actual oil. Yeah. You seen they posted that year, check?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's so funny.
Unrelated to the Kraken, but kind of related to the Kraken. I've also found myself becoming very, very interested in octopi.
Huh?
They are incredible creatures. Wanye, if you want to get yourself down a natural wormhole, read about octopus. These things are incredible.
They can change. Have you seen a bioluminescent octopus underwater? Yeah, man, they exist. That can light up,
change colors, the whole thing. They can escape from tanks and have. There's plenty of documented cases.
Latches and shit. Yeah,
and slide out the. They basically Finding Nemo escaped from aquariums around the world. It's like a whole thing. It's amazing.
They commandeered a car. They drove to the ferry.
Yep, they order through DoorDash with their 8 arms. It's incredible.
One of those fluoroluminescent ones or whatever, Wanye, is anytime I've seen one of those is if I was going to make a mental image of what Studio 54 would be, that would be kind of like the light sequence I would see is from one of them octopus.
Shout out to octopi.
You're slippery little buggers / big giant buggers.
Amazing. Very smart. Tyler, I'm giving you homework. No Oilers game tonight. Watch My Octopus Teacher on Netflix. Fantastic.
I have a big football game to watch because I'm on the verge of potentially winning. I'm on the verge of winning some big money. I have big money on the line. Mullins? I did this thing on DraftKings at the start of the season. It's like a best ball league. You know what a best ball league is, right, Jay?
I just learned about them.
I do not know what you're talking about.
So it's like fantasy football. You do a fantasy draft at the start of the year, but there's no lineup changes, no adding or dropping. You draft a roster of like 25 guys. And then at the end of every week throughout the season, it just automatically puts in what your best lineup would have been, right? Your best ball. So I did this one on DraftKings that was like, whatever, a couple thousand leagues of 12. So you're in like a bunch of different 12-man leagues. And after 13 weeks, if you were on the top 2 of your 12-man league, you advance to the next round, which is when you get slotted into a different group of 12 with a bunch of other winners. And then you get moved up again and again. And if tonight's games break right for me, I'll be in the finals. So it's the final 100 people in this best ball league, and I'd be one of them. And the top prize, which would be all based on next week's results, is $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for you, pal.
Yeah. So I'm going to be watching the football games tonight with a...
Damn, you're unchecked. Good on you.
Yeah. Knowing my luck, I'll like miss it by a point and win the $15 consolation prize. But
hey, 15 bones, baby.
That's right, man.
$15. Why not? Why not?
Spends the same.
It all spends the same at Twig and Berries as well, where if you head right now, they're doing a 12 days of Christmas thing, bunch of really good deals over at Twig and Berries. Go check it out right now.
What would you rather have your Amtrak? $15 or an octopus?
Good question.
Live.
I would have nowhere to keep an octopus.
You got
I feel like you can train an octopus to make you more than that $15 investment.
Probably.
They're
so smart.
Typing or something?
They're very, very
taxes, maybe.
Yeah, taxes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we brought an octopus onto payroll here? It could edit all the podcasts himself.
I would maybe could do Frank's picks, but like 8 games at once.
Oh, he would have to.
He did the parlay. There's a joke for you.
By the way, my dog is 21-8 on the season, in case you're wondering.
That's really impressive.
That was very impressive.
He's a dog. He's picking 21. There was somebody on the Bcast that said that they've been betting on the money line for everything Frank does just as a fun thing. And they're up 15 units or something this year.
That's nice.
I don't understand. What is that? Like, is unit just refer to a bet?
It's basically a way for bettors to talk about how good they're doing without being like, I've won $8,000.
Right.
Because if
you can win $8,000 on one bet or a $8,000 bet.
Because a unit can be $1, $10, or $100.
Yeah.
Because so that way, if you're doing units, measuring units tells you how you're doing, and not because you can say I'm up $20, but if your units are $1, you're actually up 20 units, which is significant.
And if you're up $20, but you bet $100 a game, well, then you're just pretty average. You know?
Well, as somebody who's very average right now with my betting with my hard strategy, it's probably not the best. Shout out to Risky Business.
I would imagine you did pretty well on Saturday though against the Kraken.
I didn't do bad. I didn't put a lot of bets down though, so I went more conservative. Just because I looked at the lineup as I was writing the GDP, and I was like, "Who the fuck's playing for the Oilers?" So I had no idea what was going on.
I nailed them on the comeback actually on the live bet.
Oh, and I'm so mad that I didn't do that. I just had a money line. But the one thing I did do is I found Warren Fogle to get a point at plus 115. And given that lineup, that was a no-brainer.
And you did it?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I was amazed to find out Warren Fogel's had 6 2-goal games in the NHL.
He was good in Carolina.
He's not a bozo.
No, not at all.
I think if he gets back to kind of just his normal state in terms of production, people are going to love this guy because he's a bull in a china shop.
What is he? 15-goal guy a year?
Yeah, sure.
I would think that should be the minimum for him every season. He should get you at least 15.
Finds a way to get shit done, man. Like even if he's just finishing checks or like forechecking and shit, every shift he tries something, I swear.
And when he's got his glasses on, he's incredibly handsome.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
Incredible.
Was that you on the Twitter account, Wanye?
What do you mean?
Comparing him to some president or something?
Oh, President Warren Harding? I think these comparisons are quite obvious.
How many Warrens did you look at before you found a suitable?
That's the only other Warren I could think of was Warren G. Harding.
What about Daddy Warren Buffett?
Oh, of course. Wow, I wouldn't want to compare the two greats, the goats.
Warren G.
Yeah.
Warren G.
Power. Yeah. No, you're right. Well, Warren Harding. Anyway, that's where my head was at the time. There's a photo of him wearing glasses, your M-Check, where he's getting off the Oilers jet, and he looks like a GQ
incredibly
model.
handsome.
You know, I'm not going to let that shit fly without promoting his looks.
Mm-hmm.
Ranker.com teamed up with Celebrity Lists to rank the top 5 most famous Warrens in the world.
And where's Warren Fogle? 1 or 2?
Yes, exactly.
This is from February of this year. Number 1, surprisingly, actually, is Warren G.
Above Warren Buffett?
Above Warren Buffett.
I guess.
That ain't right.
Nope. Uncle Warren.
Wait a minute. Are you at warreng.org?
Number 3 is Warren Harding.
Famous? Yeah. What? Warren Harding's up there too?
Yeah. And then you got Warren Beatty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Warren Oates.
From
the hell is that?
How about War and Peace, the album by Ice Cube?
It was originally supposed to be called War, What Is It Good For?
Absolutely nothing.
It's a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah.
Right. What a deadpan delivery you're in, Chuck. Good God.
Very Seinfeld. It was very Seinfeldian.
That's a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else?
Well, there's all sorts of things we could talk about. How are we doing for time?
We're just under an hour here. Maybe got time for one more thing.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Well, I think we'll do another episode on Thursday now that we're doing this remotely, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, why not?
That's the 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do one. Make it a little
Now that we're all at home,
chilling, vibing,
quarantining.
Yeah.
I'm locking it right down. I'm locking it.
Stay positive.
I have like 2 more Christmas gifts that I have to go buy. And aside from that, I'm like not planning on leaving my house until I go do family stuff at Christmas. I'm just hunkered down.
Yeah, that's me too, man. I did a solo Christmas last year. It was not fun. So I'm keeping her tight for the rest of the week.
That's
good stuff. It's kind of wild out there right now.
It'd be crazy. But hopefully at some point here we get the Oilers back and everything will go back to a little bit of normal, but that'll be interesting. I think it's going to be announced today that the Olympics aren't happening or that the NHLers aren't going to the Olympics. That's too bad as well. But
will the Olympics occur? Predictions.
Man, just do what they did with the Summer Olympics. Push it back.
I should push it back. Like that should be the biggest bell. If the players aren't going to be there, then like
communist China, are they the people who push? Yeah. Whose call is it?
Yeah, that is interesting. Who is responsible for that call?
IOC probably.
Because I love the Winter Olympics. I love them. Yes. I'm looking forward to the skeet shooting. I'm looking forward to all that shit. But the hockey,
the 10,000 meter speed skating, I'll watch every fucking meter.
Longer.
I wish it was longer.
Hockey without the NHLers is just not the same. Push it back.
I would love for them to push it back. I just have.
Does that mean that they have to send an alternate team of non-NHL players?
They have to do
maybe the Spengler Cup team, yeah.
Because the Canada pulled out of the Spengler Cup, actually, which is probably also a bit of a telling sign in all this.
Yes.
So there is no team then going?
No Spengler, no.
What about the Olympics? Like, are they not sending like a midget AAA team?
They'll send the Spengler team, I think.
Oh, shit. The Spengler Cup players are like, what if I have to quarantine in China for 5 weeks? Like, shut up. Get over there. Christian Dubé.
The Spengler team or whatever it was in 2018 won bronze, didn't they?
Did we medal?
Or did they lose in the bronze medal game?
Who cares?
I was too busy watching the biathlon.
I was super into the 100,000 meter skating that lasts a month.
Man, I love all of it, like the aerial freestyle, the skiing, the moguls, all that stuff. I love.
Oh yeah.
Or ski jumping. I can't wait for ski jumping.
I love ski jumping.
Love ski jumping.
We did, eh?
I'm trying to see who would have been kicking around there.
I love the mogul skiing.
Oh, fantastic!
Chris Kelly was on that team.
Super G.
Derek Roy, maybe.
The game-winning goal.
Yak Whisperer.
The game-winning goal would have been Chris Kelly. Actually, he scored the 5th goal in a 6-4 victory. They also got goals from Wojtek Wolski.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Andrew Ebbett. Derek Roy, a second one from Kelly as well, and a second one from Andrew Ebbett.
Can you confirm for me that Chris Kelly is also one of the names of the guys in Crisscross? I'm pretty sure Chris Kelly is a crisscross half.
It was spelled with a K, though, I believe.
Well, it was the whole Chris thing of crisscross.
Hey, local boy Carl Stollery was on that team. That'd be a good.
Nope.
I bet we could.
You're not even looking up the right thing, are you? You're just talking hockey.
Former Oiler Rob Klinkhammer was there.
Klink?
Wanye, you are correct. Chris MacDaddy Kelly, unfortunately, he is deceased.
Rest in power.
Chris Daddy Mac Smith.
Yeah. You see your M-Chuck? That's why you have to go listen to Pure Shores.
Mm-hmm. All right. Add that on the list.
I'm not wrong, man, because I'm not wrong.
Man, shout out to Chris Cross.
When Jermaine Dupri wrote the Crisscross songs and saw them in the shopping center, he was 17 years old, Jermaine Dupri.
Really?
And he saw like 12-year-olds with their clothes on backwards in the food court and was like, come with me. It's time to become rappers. He did it, Janet Jackson.
That was one of my first ever cassette tapes that I bought off Columbia House.
I ironically wore my clothes backwards for a few months at school in junior high.
I did too. And then my dad yelled at me.
Well.
All right. I gotta jump off here.
Yeah. Let's put a wrap on let's put a wrap on episode 339 of the Real Life Podcast. Shout out to our friends at the HGA Group, Twinkie Berries, DoorDash, Oodle Noodle, fansfirst.ca, and TradesLink, also Tourism Jasper. We're doing some stuff with them coming up, hopefully in the next month or so. Have a good week. We'll talk on Thursday.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.